everybody! Today we're going to make the biggest bowl actually that I've made to date. This is a piece of spalted maple that my friend Jason sent me. Hi Jason, thank you. This is a beautiful piece of spalted maple. It also has a really cool void in it that to me looks like a paint splat on the floor or something, which is why this is the splat bowl. It was very nice of him to send it to me already round, so I didn't have too hard a time getting it into shape here. I think the blank was about 10 inches in diameter before I started, and it's by far the biggest piece that I've done, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little scared when I put it on. I got this piece in March or April, I'm not exactly sure which, and the tree had not been down terribly long before that, so it was pretty wet. Jason sealed it and wrapped it in a paper bag, sent it to me, and I just stuck it in the corner for a while and decided that I would give it a shot. I think that I did the moisture meter before I started on it, and I think it came in at around 14. I was thinking that my ambient shop temperature was around 11, but then I stuck the moisture meter in a 2x4 and it came out about 9. So this piece is still a little wet, and it did move around a little bit on me. It also had some cracks to start with, and then, I may have exposed some more as I went along here. I just put some thin CA glue in anything that looked suspicious and made sure that I was out of the line of fire as much as possible. I've started leaving a little bit of a shoulder at the bottom near the tenon in case I get a little too carried away in hollowing out the inside. That gives me a little extra meat in case I get too thin. I always double check the chalk before I take the tailstock away just to make sure something didn't loosen up while I was not paying attention to it. Just starting to get down into the punky rotted area. And all that dark is just pretty much rotted wood. I don't always use a drill bit on the bowls, but this is also the deepest bowl that I've ever made, so I went ahead and used that as partially to get the slow moving wood out of the way, but also as a depth stop. Still trying to get the hang of the bottom of the bowl gouge. The angle is very different. And I just went through with a Dremel and got out anything that looked punky or looked like it might want to split. I didn't want resin to get on the tenon if I could help it, so I just covered it with the tape. I went around any place where there were holes or voids that went all the way through and put the Tyvek tape on. So I'm hoping to squish the resin up to the edges. That's why there's a little bit of a lip of Tyvek tape at the top there. The white bowl is just a catch basin in case I have a leak. The green bowl fits tight in there and is hopefully going to make a uniform thickness of resin all the way around the outside of it. I put a 2.5 pound weight in there. My friend Scott got it for me since I had my hands full there. Normally when people use the Tyvek or the tuck tape for resin, you're using the outside as the part that the resin won't stick to. It doesn't work as well the other direction because it's really sticky. It took me a long time to get the tape off. Next time I'll use either painter's tape or packing tape. My bowl method would have worked out better if I'd been able to sink it down just a little bit further into the bowl. I had more resin in the bottom of the bowl than I had wanted to. I had to just take a lot of that out. I still had some voids from the first pour, so I taped the entire opening of the bowl and made a really tight mold out of some plastic chopping mats from the dollar store. And now I'm just looking for leaks. I'm pulling it away just a little bit to let the resin run down more toward the rim. I thought this would be easier than trying to do a whole bunch of different things with 5-minute epoxy. You can see I did have a little bit of leakage through the bottom, but it's not too bad. And the painter's tape went much better. It's not sitting right in the chuck. I can't get the shoulder tight all the way around. There's a gap on one side or the other, and I didn't like that. So I decided to turn it around and recut the shoulder and the tenon, make sure I got a good fit in the chuck. That's better. And I did sharpen my regular carbide cutters. I'm going to put that as part of a Workshop Wednesday video coming up here soon. There are always a few holes that don't get filled with the resin. Still working on refining the shape just a little bit. Kind of switching back and forth between regular scraping to take some more material off and then doing some shear scraping to clean it up. I got a lot of vibration, so I pulled the Stuart Batty trick with the paper towel, holding it on the outside for a little bit of support to help reduce the vibration a little bit. It's a 1 pound cut of shellac that I put on for a sanding sealer. And then I cut that back with a 4/0 equivalent steel wool. This is my homemade abrasive sanding paste. It works really well, but I think that I'm going to give the Axe a try. They're a company that makes the polishing paste and abrasive paste. And they're located here in the United States. So a lot of the other turners use it, and I may give it a shot and see if I like it better than the stuff that I made. I really like using those little dish scrubby things to help me hold the paper towel. It gives me a little bit more to hold on to, and it also makes it so that I can push a little bit harder and go around the curvy bits. I did a little something different this time. I've never used the Howard's Feed and Wax. This is not going to be a food bowl anyway. I mean, you could put dry goods in it, but it's not going to hold any liquid for sure. So I decided to give this a shot, and you just put a coat on and let it sit for at least 20 minutes. I think here it's been over an hour, and come back and rub off or rub in, whatever, the excess, and then buff it. And I am really happy with the way this finish came out. This bowl feels so good. And this is the homemade polishing paste that I made. It's mineral oil, beeswax, and carnauba wax. I did thin it down some more with some additional mineral oil because it was just too thick. It's still a little bit hard, but it did work better. And this on top of the Howard's Feed and Wax was really, really good. I'm super happy with the finish and the feel of the way this bowl came out. So I've got my G3 chuck with a spindle adapter, and then just a little piece of pine that I use for a friction jam chuck. And I got it to sit pretty flat. Put a couple of grooves in the bottom. I like the way that looks, and if you got a big base like that, I think it helps. This thing's got a little bit of everything going in. There's just a little bit of curl up there towards the top. And some really nice voids with the resin fill, and then there's some serious black lines from the spalting. It's fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for subscribing and watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all be safe out there.